channel Inspired Ideas, and today I'm going to share with you one of the books that I love and is one of my favorites. I've read it twice. I definitely would like to read it again, and the author is Paulo Coelho, and the book is called By the River Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept. By the River Piedra, I sat down and wept. There is a legend that everything that falls into the waters of this river, leaves, insects, the feathers of the birds, is transformed into the rocks that make the riverbed. If only I could tear out my heart and hurl it into the current, then my pain and longing would be over and I could finally forget. By the river Piedra, I sat down and wept. The winter air chills the tears on my cheeks, and my tears fall into the cold waters that course past me. Somewhere this river joins another, then another, until far from my heart and sight, all of them merge with the sea. May my tears run just as far that my love might never know that one day I cried for him. May my tears run just as far that I might forget the river Piedra, the monastery, the church, in the Pyrenees, the mist and the paths we walked together. I shall forget the roads, the mountains, the fields of my dreams, the dreams that will never come true. I remember my magic moment, that instant when a yes or a no could change one's life forever. It seems so long ago now. It's hard to believe that it was only last week that I had found my love once again and then lost him. I am writing this story on the bank of the river Piedra. My hands are freezing, my legs are numb, and every minute I want to stop. Seek to live. Remembrance is for the old, he said. Perhaps love makes us old before our time, or young if youth has passed. But how can I not recall those moments? That is why I write, to try to turn sadness into longing, solitude into remembrance, so that when I finish telling myself the story, I can toss it into the Piedra. That's what the woman who has given me shelter told me. Only then, in the words of one of the saints, will these waters extinguish what the flames have written. All love stories are the same. By the River Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept is a book about two kids who love each other. They were best friends, and life happened and one of them had to leave because he wanted to venture out and see the world, while one stayed behind and, got school education in her hometown. But 12 years passed and the boy ended up reaching out to her. So she was like, okay, well, I'll meet up with him, and didn't think that he still had feelings for her, even though she still had kind of feelings for him, but she wasn't going to show them. And so by her going to go visit him, he was happy, he was excited. He's always wanted to tell her that he's loved her, but he was never able to because he didn't have enough courage, which I think is really sweet. So the book talks about 7 days when they were together and they had beautiful moments learning about each other. Him talking about the church and how he was going to be a priest and how he gained healing abilities through the Virgin Mary. And in the end, it basically almost tore down or broke down the girl, because she wanted to have a life with him and wanted to participate in all of the activities of healing, loving, preventing death, and not knowing that the boy wanted to give up his gifts so that he could be with her, and he didn't want to burden her with those things because he didn't want her to see all the suffering, all the pain, all the sadness that came along with it. So when she found out that he gave up his gifts, her world turned upside down. She didn't know what to do. It's like she had a panic attack, anxiety, everything was falling apart. From my imagination, it was like it was nighttime and it was winter and it was cold, and she went running out and didn't know where she went, and she ended up probably just passing out somewhere. And in the morning, somebody luckily found her, and she was almost really frozen cold. And she woke up and she was like, "Oh, where's the guy I was with?" She's like, the lady that found her was like, "There's no one here." And what ended up happening is the boy ended up going to her hometown looking for her because he thought that she left. And so when he came back, they found each other. And the beautiful thing is that when she tells him that she's wanted to do this, she wanted to get out of her hometown, she wanted to stretch her wings, she wanted to help people, that she found God through him. And then she found the beauty of women and beauty of the Virgin Mary and the beauty of healing and being there for people and giving. So she wanted to be involved with that with him, and so he told her, "Well, we'll just ask the Virgin Mary to give me back my gifts, and I'm sure she'll give them to me. She's given many people opportunities and chances." Well, just a little gist of the book. This book by Paulo Coelho, by the River Piedra, I sat down and wept. To me, is such a beautiful love story, on top of deeper meaning and understanding of a greater picture, you know? Not everyone believes in spirituality, not everyone believes in God, not everyone believes in the Virgin Mary, not everyone believes in spirits. Some people think different things. But in the end, as long as we respect one another and appreciate that everyone has their own opinion, it's okay. With this book, I've enjoyed it. The first time I read it, it was something that I just thought nothing but a love story. I didn't see no deeper meaning. I didn't see anything behind the Virgin Mary. I didn't see anything behind divine masculine, divine feminine. I didn't see anything that was spiritual. I did understand like it was his work, and the gentleman that's in the book, it was his work, and that's what he did. And he communicated to people about the Virgin Mary and the feminine aspect of God. And so to me, the first time I read it was definitely beautiful. Now the second time I read it, it became even more amazing because my mindset was in a different perspective. I had gone through different scenarios in my world that kind of opened up my mind, and knowing that there are people out there who appreciate and love women for who they are. They're not less than a man. They're not inferior. Me, personally, I've always felt that women and men are on the same scale. God created us both, so God created us both. And so there's a balance. He didn't just make a man and he didn't just make a woman. And for me, I've always advocated for women. I've always said, thank God I was born in America, because if I was born somewhere else, I would have been stoned already. That's just something that I feel, and I'm glad that I'm able to voice my opinion. I'm glad that I'm able to share my experiences. And reading this book, showed me that the feminine aspect of God, because God is both. God is masculine and feminine. And when he had the Virgin Mary give birth to his son, he also wanted us to appreciate the aspect of a woman. and that there needs to be balance. A woman is not inferior. A woman is not less than. A woman is just the same. But we do offer different qualities. So that's where the balance comes in. A woman is not necessarily just as strong as a man, although she could be. And because she has knowledge in other areas doesn't make her smarter than anyone else. It just means that she's acquired this knowledge, it's taken time. Some people are offended by a woman being intelligent, strong, smart, and I just think she should be respected, loved, and treated just like other individuals, just like a man. I don't think a man is above a woman at all either. I think he's just right there on the same balance. And they both complement each other. They might not do the same things, but it's a complement. Just like God. God is masculine and he's feminine. And he provides both. Love, nurturing, giving. Also too, providing food, water, shelter. There's a balance. And in this book, there's praise for the feminine. And so, because in this world now, it's a masculine world. It's been a man's world for a long time. And women have been treated less than. A woman is not just to be enslaved to a man. Some people say a man is the head and the woman is the neck. For some people, it may be that way in some worlds. I can't say that in my world it's actually been that way. But knowing that both people, partnerships, whether it's man or woman, man, man, woman, woman, there is still a masculine and a feminine between both of them. And it's beautiful. And I would love to see more of that. I would like to see more of a balance, more of appreciation for the both. All right, well, just sharing a few thoughts. This has nothing to do with love. To love is to be in communion with the other and to discover in the other the spark of God. May Pilar's laminate on the bank of the river Piedra guide us towards such communion. By reading this, to me, it's kind of like what we do is what we're doing is we're looking for little bits of ourselves in everybody. We're looking for bits of ourselves in our partners, in our family, in our children, in our friends. There's little bits of us. So just like God has put little bits of himself in all of us. And sometimes we forget we have these beautiful pieces in ourselves that sometimes looking at someone else and seeing what they do and the beauty they've created kind of sparks the joy and the beautiful bit of God that's inside us and something that we can love and appreciate and give to others. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe.